The bans have run the political gamut, with the subreddits for many cities and states, such as r/New Jersey, r/London, Ontario, and sports teams banning all Twitter links. r/Christianity banned Twitter links with a GIF in which Musk salute was put side by side with a neo-Nazi. Oh, NFL, hockey, NBA, overwhelmingly in favor of having links banned on their subreddits. This is all really good to see. One of the things that, like, you know, the far right, now that they've, you know, assumed power in the United States and are going to try and assume power in the rest of the world, they and Elon Musk certainly have suddenly become incredibly confident, and in doing so they're overplaying some parts of their hand. Now, by the way, I can't play the video because he does a Nazi salute a number of times, but Hitler-loving white nationalist neo-Nazi. You can just right-wing watch. It's called spade. He's a Nazi. Nick Fuentes is a Nazi. You don't need to dance around it. I've seen times when they type out entire paragraphs. They're like misogynist, incel, white supremacist, Nick Fuentes, and it's like, you don't, Nazi. He's a Nazi. Hitler-loving white nationalist Nick Fuentes on Elon Musk salute. That was a straight-up Sieg Heil. I'm loving the Hitler energy. And so it was not just him, but numerous members of far-right groups, white supremacists, neo-Nazis. You know, they've all signaled that, oh yeah, that was exactly what we all were waiting for. Someone is finally doing this out and proud and in the open, and you know, getting away with it. Elon Musk and X's role in the 2024 election interference, a letter from the alleged X whistleblower. What started as the US election interference has now spread to other countries. We're currently doing the same thing in Germany and other European nations. Someone who previously worked for the company is now sounding the alarm. To whom it may concern, I'm writing this with a heavy heart and no small amount of fear. As a former X, formerly Twitter employee on an H-1B visa, I can't reveal my identity without risking everything, but I can't stay silent any longer about what I saw and what I was made to do. When Elon Musk took over, everything changed. What started as a social media company became something much darker. I was part of a team that was directly ordered to manipulate Twitter systems to influence the 2024 US presidential election. It wasn't subtle, it wasn't ethical. We completely changed how the algorithm worked, pushing pro-Trump and right-wing posts to the top of people's feeds. To make it look balanced, we also boosted some left-wing critics of Democrats, but it was all carefully calculated. Wonder why a lot of people are suddenly surprised to see that when they were usually only getting, you know, 300, 400 likes on a post, they're getting 40,000 to 60,000 likes on a post, as long as they happen to be people who are like, well, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a Republican or a right-winger. I'm just saying that I'm here to criticize the Democrats because, you know, that's what I do. I'm an enlightened centrist now, or unaligned, politically unaligned, but certainly. These changes didn't just affect Americans, they impacted users worldwide. One of the most disturbing things we did was create thousands of fake accounts using advanced AI systems called Grok and Eliza. These accounts look completely real and push political messages that spread like wildfire. Haven't you noticed they all disappeared? Like magic? We also knowingly allowed foreign governments to manipulate the platform. State-backed groups from Israel, Iran, and Russia were running their own influence campaigns, and because their goals aligned with ours, we looked the other way. Even when they clearly broke the rules, we didn't stop them. Perhaps the most unethical part was how we manufactured news stories. One team would write completely fake articles, while another team would artificially boost their engagement metrics and make them go viral. We specifically targeted certain groups of people, knowing exactly how to manipulate their views and emotions. The moderation team became a tool for our agenda. We systemically silenced anyone who got in our way, enforcing the rules when it suited us and ignoring them when it didn't. Elon Musk himself was deeply involved in these decisions, often joking about being Black Hat MAGA. What started as US election interference has now spread to other countries. We're currently doing the exact same thing in Germany and other European nations. The damage we've done is immeasurable, and I don't know if it can ever be fixed. People don't know what's real anymore, and that's exactly what we wanted. The pilot program for Eliza AI agent was election interference. Eliza was released officially on October 2024, but we've had access to that before, and thanks to Mark Andreessen. I'm terrified to be writing this, but I had to speak up. I just hope someone with the power to do something about this sees this letter. You'll know what I'm saying is true by Elon's actions. To the news, someone spoke out. For more evidence, look at the docs of Eliza's AI agent software. We left lots of breadcrumbs. Yours sincerely, a former employee who can't sleep at night. The nightmare scenario that basically the right gaslit everybody about, that continuously lied about, has been done. It's been done in the open. Twitter, you were told back in the day, was some kind of liberal hive mind, controlled by George Soros in order to manipulate elections and do election interference. Let's see what's going on here. And now we have all of the Twitter files. All of these people are complicit. Every single one. They have all played a role, from Matt Taibbi to Li Feng to Glenn Greenwald, all the people who are not, oh, no, they don't identify as being on the right, but they're going to make you feel along the way that perhaps you're losing your mind, that something that you know to be true is not in fact true, and that it's actually the other side that has been doing it all along. No. That this is the reality, that Elon Musk came along. So many people for a long time were basically just laughing at him. It's like, oh, well, look at the clown man. He has no idea what he's doing. Power to the people. Vox Populi. He's basically created a disaster. All the ads are leaving. Everyone's jumping ship. The whole thing is unprofitable. It's so funny. It's so hilarious. The engagement is dropping. That can all be true, while at the same time, he's getting the ROI that he was looking for. He's now basically an unelected member of Trump's cabinet, who is basically going to be able to concentrate all of his wealth and power. Every single one of them that has a vast amount of money invested within cryptocurrency has become infinitely more powerful along the way. The billionaires are just fucking printing cash. Absolutely printing cash. And as long as, there's a bunch of useful idiots and or people who are paid, such as every single right-wing fucking, not even grifters. I don't assume that every single one of them was given like a note that was like, hey, here's the plan, because they didn't need to. Every single one of them acts like an NPC. When there's one thing to get mad at, they all simultaneously get mad at the same time at the same thing, and then all of a sudden they're just trying to distract everybody with what they call the culture wars. That is all done, while at the same time this shit is happening in the background. Every single day that they're talking to you about, oh, what about the laptop? Hunter Biden's laptop. Hunter Biden's penis. Let's talk about that. This is what's actually happening. And it's being done by the world's richest person, and he's doing it directly and successfully in this case to manipulate an election for the world's most powerful, richest country with the largest military. And now he's moving in and setting his targets on other places. The UK, Germany. I don't know if you'll have to do much in Canada, because that one's already set in motion, so why waste your resources there when you can steer other nations in the West towards your goals, and allow perhaps countries that have been identified as enemies of the United States to also manipulate the system if you seem to have similar aims and aspirations. If there happens to be a whole bunch of Russian bot farms that want to release AI-powered bots to inflate posts, boost posts, argue with people, distract everyone, even though we don't necessarily maybe want to partner directly with Russia in this case, we'll let them do what they want to do. We can do the same thing for Iran. We'll let them engage in the same kind of bot farms that they do, because all of this is just basically going to sow discontent and allow it to happen in the meantime. Can we get a link to this? You certainly can. On the last social media site that isn't completely fucked, Blue Sky. I'm going to talk about why Blue Sky is actually still okay, thanks to some reporting by Ed Zitron. Canada and European Commissions need to suspend X operations and investigate whether or not these allegations can be corroborated. If yes, lawsuits, sanctions, and Interpol red and silver notice are necessary against X Corp, Elon Musk, and his collaborators. Obviously, that's all true, but the guy's sitting right beside the President of the United States. Don't know how much you're going to be able to bring the banhammer on him. Don't know how much you're going to be able to investigate him. Don't know. I mean, other nations certainly could start taking this far more seriously if they have time. That it's only a matter of time before a lot of far-right governments come into power, and none of them are going to do anything about this. I mean, Italy already has a far-right government. It looks like Germany is about to have a far-right government. France is sitting on the precipice because, again, that happens to be a situation where the liberals are, not allowing the left coalition to actually assume power that they democratically electedly won. Sorry, I got a little something stuck in my throat there. And so, yeah, if things go towards Marine Le Pen, is Marine Le Pen going to be wanting to crack down on social media, crack down on Elon Musk? Is anyone going to regulate this when it's helping them win, when it's effectively being utilized by them to be able to have power? Is the letter verified by anyone? No, I don't believe so. I don't want to lie about that. Big tech, Donald Trump, and techno-imperialism, how Europe can avoid becoming an additional colony. That's an interesting way of putting it. It is doing the rounds right now because I have seen a whole bunch of people on the right trying to say that the entire thing is fake. I'll get into this next part. 404 Media. Hundreds of subreddits are considering banning all links to X. Dozens of big subreddits have already banned Twitter links, and posts about potential bans are some of the most popular on the site. Hundreds of subreddits are considering banning all links to X.com in response to Elon Musk's salute to Donald Trump's inauguration rally that was celebrated by Nazis as being a Nazi salute. The moderators of dozens of those subreddits have said they've decided to ban all links to X. Here's a video scroll of some of the hundreds of subreddits that have considered to do the move in the past 24 hours, with many moderators putting the idea for a vote amongst Reddit's subreddit subscribers. The bans have run the political gamut, with the subreddits for many cities and states, such as r/New Jersey, r/London, Ontario, and sports teams banning all Twitter links. r/Christianity banned Twitter links with a GIF in which Musk's salute was put side by side with the neo-Nazi. Some subreddits, NFL, hockey, NBA, overwhelmingly in favor of having links banned on their subreddits. This is all really good to see. One of the things that, like, you know, the far right, now that they've assumed power in the United States and are going to try and assume power in the rest of the world, they and Elon Musk certainly have suddenly become incredibly confident, and in doing so they're overplaying some parts of their hand. I agree with Robert Evans' assessment that while you have to take all of this very seriously, don't let it be normalized. Don't let collaborators try and trick you as they're trying to do right now, whether or not they know it. But if you have liberals or centrists who are trying to be like, oh, come on, guys, you call everything you don't like a Nazi, you're trying to say that this is a Nazi salute, oh, come on, blah, blah, blah. Don't let any of this ever become normalized. Continue to push back in every way you can, and don't let people suddenly accept it, because that's just the first step. If Elon Musk can do Nazi salutes openly and proudly and have be directly in the president's inner circle, then what's next? Is Donald Trump going to start doing them and being like, oh, I'm just getting in on the memes, this whole thing is part of the memes? It's like how the OK symbol used to be a thing back in the day. Here's the thing that they are not calculating, and that is that a lot of the groups that they are trying to oppress, still, we outnumber them by massive amounts. Half the population is women, and they are directly targeting women. They're trying to go after women's reproductive freedom, which is something that fascists classically do. They are trying to go after women's rights, something that fascists also classically do. There's a very large percentage of the population, especially among the youth, who identify as LGBTQ, and the world be more diverse now than it ever has been, especially within a lot of the nations in which they're trying to impact a lot of this. They're using a lot of white identitarian politics. Trump certainly is. It's the reason why he's attacking things like DEI. It's the reason he's attacking things like gender ideology. It's the reason he's going after all of this, and there's a lot of collaborators along the way, people who don't think things are as bad as they are and are completely fine with being, say, oh yeah, I'm a white dude, I'm gay, I'm cis, I'm fine, go MAGA, the Dave Rubin's style things. Well, that's just because it's currently at this phase. Eventually, yes, they're going to be targeting things like marriage equality. They're going to be targeting things like interracial marriage. They'll be going after that. It's all a matter of time. You can already see them playing out their playbook step by step, and it's already luckily being identified by a lot of the rest of the world, who are outright disgusted and reviled by this fucking shit. So we outnumber them. Then that is just a fucking reality. And while they can currently control a lot of this, there is also a very clear pushback against this kind of shit, because there's not suddenly just a light switch where everyone is like, oh, what, Nazis are okay now? No, fuck Nazis. I'm gonna have to add that Pedro Pascal soundbite to my thing. Hold
on. Fuck Nazis. Fuck Nazis. Fuck Nazis.
Danish European Union MP.
Mr. Trump, f off. Dear President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland have been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, f off.
It is not okay in this house of democracy. Thank you. Regardless of what we think of Mr. Trump, it is not possible to use such language.
Amazing. Yeah, I love it. Hey, keep the shit up. You know, this is what I want to see from world leaders across the board. People actually just outright being like, fuck off, fuck you, fuck Nazis, fuck all this shit. No, we understandably and regrettably let things get too far, and shit is now fucked. Fine, fuck you. We are effectively going to be pushing back on this. And no, we cannot go back in the direction of like, well, you know what'll really fix all of this? Centrism, neoliberalism, the liberal world order. That's the solution to all of this. If there are two directions the world is headed in right now, one of them happens to be fascism, as it is clearly demonstratable, then the alternative to that has to be something that is going to benefit the populace, benefit humanity, and allow us to move forward to a bright and beautiful future. Socialism. So hockey, NFL, NBA are all on board. Formula One moderators decided to ban links from Twitter, except in cases where the information cannot be found anywhere else, specifically from Formula One drivers and some who haven't moved to other platforms. For a trial period, we will ban all content from Twitter, with the only exception of screenshots from relevant posts made by teams, drivers, and F1 that are not available on other platforms. Even in the case of major breaking news, we ask you to post links to the press releases of a screenshot that we post from Instagram with a link in the comments. The ban is a trial. r/comic book movies posted with recent events. We mods have decided that we will no longer be able to sub to promote X in any way, shape, or form. Following in the footsteps of our subs, we will ban any links or posts coming from X, including the comment section. While many of our posts come from X, moving forward, we will need to come from another source, such as Blue Sky, approved websites for your own creation. The moderators have made me smile, would like it if we banned all links to Twitter. Moderators of D&D, Dungeons and Dragons are simply considering the move. Most of the subreddits are also banning material from meta platforms after Mark Zuckerberg explicitly decided to allow hate to proliferate across his apps, and TikTok and Rednote because of their companies being based in China. Hello, everybody. Following recent events in social media, we are updating our content policy. A message from r/anti-work reads, and then it was followed with, we will no longer allow X, including content from its predecessor, Twitter, because Elon Musk promotes white supremacist ideology and give a Nazi salute. The concerted mass action to ban Twitter links is notable because it highlights the difference between moderation on a platform like Reddit and the moderation on a platform like X, Facebook, and Instagram. Reddit's distributed volunteer moderation system, in which users become the moderators of specific subreddits, meaning they are also in charge of the rules and norms of that subreddit. And also, you know what I tell you that we all have, we outnumber them by huge amounts. We're also the consumers of the products that they need to be able to maintain their wealth. And so as long as you are the consumers of their products, yeah, don't fucking buy Teslas. They're priced out of my fucking amount that I would be able to spend on an electric car if I was going to buy a car. But if you have people who are Tesla buyers, Tesla owners, stuff like that, you can directly tell them, by the way, you're driving in a vehicle by a dude who is doing Nazi salutes. I mean, that's pretty fucked up. Same thing can apply to people who, they're all now alternatives to a lot of these apps. They're alternatives to a lot of this stuff. You can fucking move on to something else besides Instagram. You can move on to something like Blue Sky. Everyone is moving and transitioning, over to Blue Sky. And so I'll explain in a second why Blue Sky actually, for the time being, is better. There's been some debate over the last year regarding Blue Sky and how decentralized it really is. There's also been a growing fear that the end-shitification is inevitable, or worse, that an evil billionaire might take it over and ruin it the way other platforms have been ruined. But I think it's important to understand that Blue Sky has, effectively, created a technological poison pill by building it on an open protocol, the AT protocol. The system itself can be rebuilt outside of Blue Sky, but in a way where everyone can continue to communicate, and that creates incredible incentives that undermine any evil billionaire that would actually punish Blue Sky or anyone else should they try to shitify it. Last week, a group called Free Our Feeds announced that itself to the world and kicked off a crowdfunding process to effectively build a Blue Sky competitor built on the same AT protocol and fully interoperable with Blue Sky, but wholly separate from the app. This is both exciting and fantastic, in part because it's cool, but in part because it demonstrates the real-world impact and importance of AT protocol open design, allowing or showing how it enables the creation of alternative infrastructure that can prevent lock-ins and empower users. For years now, Corey, Dr. Rowe's concept of enshedification has been a hot topic in tech circles, with many worried that even the most well-intentioned platforms are doomed to become terrible over time. Indeed, just a few months ago, Corey wrote a thoughtful piece on why he was not joining Blue Sky and why he feared that it was on his path to enshedification. He and I actually discussed all of this much earlier, very early versions of Blue Sky's history, and suggested to him that Blue Sky has tricks up its sleeve to be enshedification resistant. In this piece, Corey says some very nice things about me before correctly saying that even though he trusts me deeply, he doesn't think that his trust of me and me being on Blue Sky's board means that Blue Sky is immune to the enshedification curve. Blue Sky has many federated features that I find technically admirable. I only know the CEO there slightly, but I have nothing but good opinions of her. At least one of the board members there, Mike Masnick, is one of my closest friends and comrades in the fight for user rights. We don't agree on everything, but I trust him implicitly and would happily give him the keys to the house if he needed a place to stay or even a password for my computer before I had major surgery. But he's correct. The best boards can make bad calls, and I certainly make bad calls. But the secret that Blue Sky was not is that it has amazing CEOs or non-evil board. It's that it was built from the ground up on focus on forced openness and a protocol on which anyone could build. I discussed this in great details with friend of the show, Ed Zitron. The key points. Nothing can be enshedification proof, but you can make things enshedification resistant. The key to doing so is building on a forced open protocol such that if people hate what you're doing, they're able to rebuild any part of the infrastructure and cut out the entity engaged in the enshedification. Even if the alternative competing services don't exist, simple fact that there's an option there for people to keep their content, keep their relationships, keep their ability to communicate while avoiding any particular platform is a very strong incentive to resist enshedification. AKA, and nerds, please correct me, because I'm a video game nerd, but I'm not a coder nerd, so I need nerd help here. My understanding of all this, for someone who's not in any way in the know, is that if Blue Sky effectively is bought by some billionaire, they might be resistant to a $5 billion offer. And they might be like, no, it's more important for us to have open non-corporate communication, but then it's a $10 billion offer, $20 billion offer, $30 billion. Okay, fine. The board sells out. The CEO sell out. It is really just a matter of time. This is going to happen now that all of these billionaires become infinitely more rich. They have so much money to spend on getting rid of one of the last social media apps that actually has not been completely taken over by multinational corporations. So that happens. But if people want, they can actually build their own protocol independent of what those people built and independent of what those people bought. And so that alternate protocol can be one in which people just switch on over to without having to have the whole thing shut down. And so say Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk buys Blue Sky 1, someone can independently and legally make Blue Sky 2, and everyone who's like, ew, can just jump ship to the other one. Is that a fair way of kind of putting this out there? Open source hardware and software is the future. Bring back ICQ. But ICQ, that doesn't help me. Yes, that's fair. Okay, thank you. I was like, one person who knows how this works, you have to explain this to me. Just tell me. The TLDR is good. Okay, all right. Okay, so that's good then. That just, it bodes well for the future. That not only did someone finally do something like this, but they did something like this, and that it became immensely popular. It is now the biggest alternative to Twitter. It is where a lot of journalists, a lot of news organizations, and a lot of people have gone and moved on over to. And if it is a situation where, yeah, but a rich person can still come along and buy the whole thing, if you can legally just be like, yes, but we can also be like, blah, there's a new one over there. And everyone's like, oh, okay, sweet. Well, yeah, fuck you, Elon Musk. I'm jumping to the other one. There you go. That's good to know. I bet you already drink coffee and love coffee, but you're probably worried if your coffee has blood in it. Not literal blood, but conflict zone blood. Did you want to buy coffee that is not only going to be delicious, it's going to arrive right on your door, it helps a little bit fund the serfs, and also it's end-to-end indigenous owned. That's why I partnered with Solstice Coffee, and hey, if you order by going to serfscoffee.com, they even include a free sticker, which is pretty awesome. So there's really no reason to actually not replace the coffee you already drink with delicious ethical coffee. That's why you should check out serfscoffee.com.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/theserfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Travis McClinton, Trincell, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.